Thank you for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an Amazon FBA business for sale in the home and kitchen niche. Created in January 2009, this business makes $11,900 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the site is 44019. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the sites they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. How are you doing today, Mario?
I'm good, Jake. How you doing?
I'm doing really, really well down here in Florida, you all the way in LA. Now, before I ask you about the weather there, I have to say that the weather here in Florida, we had last week was the coldest it's been since I moved to Florida 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So
wow.
There was actually snow, a decent amount of snow I live in Orlando, and about 60 miles north, there was significant for Florida, but it stuck is the thing. Snow. And it's crazy.
Wow, that is crazy. No, here we had, I'm in LA, so it wasn't that cold, but I'll tell you now it's probably around 75 degrees and I got a sweater on, I'll tell you that. That's our winter. But we did have mudslides because after the fires, I guess the rain and everything caused mudslides. I think there was about 15 to 17 deaths, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, so we've been having fires and mudslides here in LA. No earthquakes yet.
Yeah, that's awful. And yeah, man, just give California a break.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking the time to be with me here today.
Sure.
Before we dive into the questions that I have for you, I want to go ahead and run through a quick summary of the business. Again, the business was built in January of 2009, has a monthly revenue of $80,825, expenses of $68,925 to make for a net profit of $11,900, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are 2 domain names, site content and files, Amazon Seller Central account, Facebook account, Twitter account, Walmart account, Shopify, and BrandGates, and product photos. Inventory is not normally included in the list price. Further details can be provided to active depositors. Mario, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure. So I actually created my first business. I think I was in high school. I was either a junior or senior. We started printing. So I've always kind of been in business. I mean, going back to when I was maybe 9 or 10 years old, I remember we used to go to the beach and collect seashells. And I had my brother do all the selling because he's a lot better looking than I am. So, I mean, I guess it's always been in my blood. But I started this Amazon business that we're talking about in my second or third year of law school. I just needed money and I was looking to make money somehow without doing a lot of work. So I came across this and I've been doing it ever since, and I kind of just fell in love with it.
Is your brother's name Luigi?
You know what? I've heard that joke so many times. And I've also heard, oh, you're Mario, where's Princess? I've heard all of them.
I'm sorry. I had to.
No, I don't blame you.
I'm actually, if you know anything about Nintendo, they have these little figures. They're called amiibos, and they have functionality with their games. I'm actually staring at a Luigi figure as I asked that question. So I had to.
How funny. I remember in elementary, I would tell kids that my dad invented the game.
Man, that's funny. Well, before we go on, just a little side note. I'm sorry for kicking a dead horse with that joke there.
No, you're fine, Jake. You're fine, man.
My name is Jake. I hear Jake from State Farm all the time, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you fell in love with this business and this kind of business. So why are you selling it today?
So I just passed the California bar. I took the bar exam in July and found out in November that I passed. So I kind of want to just switch careers and leave this behind and move on to law, since I did spend 3 years in law school and have a lot of debt.
Well, congratulations for finishing up school and passing the bar. So with that said, you mentioned debt. Is it safe to assume that a large portion of the money from the sale will be going toward paying some of that off?
Well, I'm also getting married in a couple of months, so honestly, there's a lot of places the money can go. That won't be a problem, I promise.
Congratulations.
I got plans for it. Thank you. It's been a big year.
I actually just got engaged a week ago, so...
Oh, nice. I actually proposed in December. We were in Jamaica, December 13th, I proposed.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. Congrats to you, too.
Thank you. 2018 is going to be our year.
Yeah. Were you nervous at all?
Oh, I mean, even though I knew she was going to say yeah, a little bit, a little
Yeah,
bit.
I was nervous too, very nervous.
So, when the business was started in January of 2009, how long did it take to reach a level of steady profits?
Back then, it was a lot easier. I would say, as far as steady profits, well, I did run out of inventory because at the time I started out with obviously one product and then very soon had the second one. But I made a profit, I think, within the first month or maybe within 60 days.
So within 60 days, you were making a profit. And
Absolutely.
now we're here 8 years later. Did that continue for 8 years or did you hit any bumps in the road?
Yeah, so what I've actually been doing is I've been able to double or at least almost double my sales at least every year. Like last year, we were at around 500,000 or around 450K. And this year, we got pretty close to a million. I think we were at 970. So I've been able to pretty much double sales every year or somewhere around there, you know?
What's been the key to doing that for you?
Honestly, I think everyone talks about Amazon, how it's passive, but if you really want it to grow, it does take time and work. This is just like any other business. A lot of people will kind of make it seem like, oh, it's just everything running on its own, but it does take some sort of effort on the owner's behalf. So, for example, adding new products, making sure your costs are at the bare minimum or whatever you're able to get it as low as, you know? So it's just things like that. It's just like running any other business. I don't think this is different than running any other business. It's a lot easier compared to other business because you don't really have to worry about employees and other things and taking care of customer service and all that because most of that is done by Amazon, you know? But it still is like running any other business. You still got to look at expenses and making sure you're growing.
Yeah, that definitely, I mean, like you said, you put in the time, you grew the business, you doubled sales every single year.
Yeah.
Speaking of sales, one thing that I want to talk about coming into the last year, your revenue continued to grow looking back at the last year, pretty much the entire year until October to November when there was a drop in revenue but an increase in profit. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So what we did is some of the products that we do sell are a bit more expensive, so that'll cause the goods to go up and kind of our expenses to go up. So those I kind of, for one reason or another, kind of put that on the back burner and focused on the other things. So that's one of the reasons. And also, sometimes the buyer looking at it, there will be kind of slump in sales. And that was really me studying for the bar exam because studying for the bar exam does take 2 to 3 months. So the business was kind of on autopilot with my one virtual assistant kind of doing everything. And then me checking in maybe like an hour or 2 hours a week. So there are slumps in sales and that there was really nothing I could do about it because I did have to take 2 to 3 months off to study for the exam. And then even now, I mean, I'm kind of juggling this and looking for a position in law. So I'm kind of split between this and looking for a new career. So I'm trying to kind of take care of the business, Amazon business, as much as possible. But I do sometimes feel like I'm split between it. So I'm not really able to dedicate all the time and energy that it deserves.
So you were selling less of the products that you had lower margins on, the more expensive products, and you were selling more products that you got a higher takeaway from. They costed you less, so that's why the profit is up.
Exactly.
So how do you get your page views? Again, if you look, and I'm using the chart that's provided by Empire Flippers on the listing site for the business, again, the revenue is up from last year. The profit is up from last year. The page views are down. So is that just totally a lack of effort and time putting in because you're split between the business and studying for the bar and finding a career in law?
So that's one of the things. Are you looking at this last couple of months or this year in general?
The last couple of months, just totally the last couple of months.
Yeah, last couple of months and also advertising. I mean, we do AMS and we also do PPC. So it's kind of me not paying attention and being around to optimize those the way it needs to be. So that's probably why. And also what we've done is kind of change the pictures around and kind of added some new images with some text and kind of help with the conversion rates. So even though we are getting lower page views, the conversions are higher.
And that's ultimately what matters. I mean, look at your sales. The sales are, again, as you said, doubling. So with advertising now, what are you currently doing to market? Like, I know I mentioned a lot of the social media accounts that are coming along for the sale. Are you utilizing them well?
Honestly, I'm not. I'll be very honest with you. And I was kind of frank with the other rep that I was talking to, Empire Flippers rep. I was like, if someone comes in, they could do a lot more than I have. My expertise really isn't in social media and Facebook ads and all of that. So if someone can come in and kind of do that a lot better, or just any kind of effort would be a lot better than mine. I kind of just have the whole Twitter and Facebook set up just so if someone's looking at our product on Amazon and they're like, who are these guys? They could search for it and find it us on Facebook or Twitter. So that's really it. But as far as driving sales from Facebook and Twitter, I really haven't. And that's an opportunity that the new owner could kind of do and take advantage of.
The Shopify site that the business currently has, is that a large source of revenue, or is that also a just get a presence on the web type thing like the social media accounts?
So the reason we created the Shopify, before Amazon came up with the whole brand registry 2.0, in order for you to be brand registered, you had to have an external website where people could kind of see the products and purchase from that external website. So that's how we created the Shopify, or that's why we created the Shopify store. But we do get some sales from it, but it's a very small portion of our sales.
How many different countries and territories are you currently selling in on Amazon?
So a couple months ago, well, we're obviously in the United States. A couple months ago, we expanded to the UK, France, Germany, Italy, and Spain. So we're now in those 5 countries too.
What kind of response have you seen from those territories?
UK has been pretty good to us. UK has been our best country so far after the US. And then for some reason, Italy was great during fourth quarter. There was a really pickup in Italy, but also again, having those other accounts is kind of like a whole new Amazon account. So I haven't been able to give it the attention that it needs. For example, I'm just running PPC in the UK. So if someone comes in, the first thing I tell them to do is focus on those two, is running PPC ads there. And we also don't have all of our products available in the UK. I think we only have about 5 products that are available over there. Yeah, about 5 products. So I would say focus on growing the European marketplace too, because it's not as competitive. I mean, in the UK, we've been doing really well.
PPC being pay-per-click.
Amazon's pay-per-click, correct.
Mm-hmm. So what other kinds of marketing are you doing, if any? Are you utilizing SEO work on Google to promote? No?
The only marketing we're doing is within Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So only the Amazon PPC.
Exactly. Amazon's PPC and also AMS.
So do you feel like if someone were to come along with experience with social media, with experience with growing, utilizing, and using an email list, someone came along with blogging experience and wanted to do blog marketing, content marketing?
Oh, absolutely. It's just that's not my expertise, and I really haven't had the chance to kind of even outsource that to bring someone in. Even email addresses, we probably have, I'm going to say 500 to 1,000 email addresses. We don't even market to them.
Will that email list of 500 to 1,000 names be coming along for the ride with the sale?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, I got to check the exact number, but I think it's somewhere around 500. It's got to be somewhere around 500 email addresses. So we don't even do that. And also something else is there was a time where I did kind of focus on doing the whole Twitter and Facebook thing. And we got lucky enough. We got one of the champions from Chop Jr., which is this cooking show in the United States. So one of the champions from there, he's maybe 13, 14 years old. He loved one of our products. So he's been kind of showing it everywhere he goes and on every interview he goes and videos and tutorials that he does. So if someone could come in and kind of exploit that, that would be great advantage. And also we had maybe about a year ago, we had someone from Shark Tank reach out to us and wanted to partner with us. And I just, number one, they wanted around $10,000 to do the ads, national ads and all of that. I just didn't have the money back then, and I never really even had time to kind of follow up with them and say, all right, we could do it.
One of the sharks from the show?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So with the Amazon FBA that you have, fulfillment by Amazon, usually what it means is, well, actually, there are a couple ways it could go. The business owner could either have the products shipped directly from the supplier to Amazon's warehouses, and then Amazon will ship them to the customer. Or some people like to do it where the supplier ships the product to them, they package them, and they then send them to Amazon. How do you do it?
So what we used to do before is have it come from China to us, and then we would just slap the UPS labels and send it to FBA. But the way we have it set up now is we've got an account with Flexport, and they'll pretty much take care of all of it. So we really don't see any of the inventory.
When did you stop doing it yourself?
few months ago, maybe 2 months ago. The first shipment that we did with them, it took us a while because with them, we had to set up an account and there was a waiting period. So the first shipment that we did with them arrived, I want to say 2 weeks ago.
And then with the Shopify site, do you drop ship or do you then have the product come to you and then to the customer?
No, so with Shopify, what we do is we use ShipStation. So ShipStation will automatically send order to FBA and FBA will send it to the Shopify customer.
You're also on Walmart, correct?
Correct.
How do sales on Walmart compare to Shopify and Amazon?
We've seen a pickup, but again, Walmart, I think in 3 to 5 years, they'll be able to compete with Amazon. But right now, it's better than our Shopify store, I'll tell you that. But again, Amazon is our bread and butter.
How much work and time are you currently putting into the business currently?
So what we also do is besides PL, what we've also been doing is kind of doing not retail arbitrage, but online arbitrage. There's a few products that we found that are very profitable. So we'll kind of buy it from one website and then flip it on Amazon. So that's one thing that we've been doing. I think this business would be ideal for someone who wants to come in and kind of get their hands dirty, not for someone who kind of wants to sit back and have everything be on autopilot. If someone could come in and spend maybe about 20 hours a week on this business, I think they could definitely grow the business. How long do I spend? I spend about maybe 10 to 15 hours in the last month, and now it's probably down to maybe 5 hours a month.
And what does your VA do?
So VA will take care of, so what we also do is we have bundles. So within Amazon, we'll take product A and product B and create a new listing for product C, which is a bundle of product A and B. And when we get that order, that is merchant fulfilled. So then the VA will go ahead and take that order and then submit it back to Amazon for product A and product B. So they'll take care of that. They'll do customer service. And what else do they do? They'll take care of, there's some monthly reports that they do for me. So they do that. They really don't work a lot. We use them for 4 hours a day from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Monday through Friday. They also take care of our reimbursements. So if there's any issues with Amazon not reimbursing us for certain items, she's got a monthly report that she does. So we get money from there too.
Is she currently looking to continue working with the business under a new owner?
She has no idea that I'm looking to sell it, but I'm pretty sure she would have no issue with it.
Is the brand currently trademarked?
It is not.
Is there a reason why you haven't? You mentioned that you're in Amazon's brand registry program.
Yes. So back then, you didn't need to be trademarked. That was brand registry 1.0. With 2.0, you do need to be trademarked.
But since you were grandfathered in, you don't need to worry about that.
Exactly.
What are some of the big opportunities for growth that you see a new owner utilizing other than the ones we've already talked about, like marketing?
So besides marketing, again, if they could kind of focus on the social media side of it with the Facebook and Twitter, reach out to the Chop Junior gentleman that I was talking about, maybe try to take advantage of the Shark Tank situation with one of the sharks in there. And then from there, I think it's focusing on Europe initially to get that going, because that'll be a lot easier than bringing in new products. So just get all of our products over there, start running PPC over there. I'm talking about all of the European countries, and kind of just focus on that.
You mentioned you're currently doing PPC in the UK, though, but an opportunity would be
only.
Utilizing that marketing on Amazon for every other territory.
For every other territory. And honestly, even in the UK, I think what we have is just an auto campaign, which is very basic, doesn't take a lot of time. So if they could do some more keyword research and find other relevant keywords, and they could definitely capitalize on that opportunity.
Are there any other big opportunities that you want to outline that we haven't covered yet?
So besides doing the social media side of it, doing that, what else do we have? Walmart, they could maybe, I don't know if Walmart has ads, but maybe driving Facebook ads to there. And even our Shopify store, if they could do some blogs there and do some advertising to the Shopify store, they could definitely take advantage of that. In addition to that, what I've been seeing other sellers do is include it in the package of the product, include kind of like a small USB drive saying, hey, here's an instruction manual in there, or join our VIP club. And then from there, takes them to an opt-in page where you could get their email address. So they could definitely focus on things like that too.
What are some of the big risks associated with this business that you feel a potential buyer should be aware of?
I think the risk What keeps me up at night, I'll tell you this, is with any of the Amazon accounts, I think there's always a fear in any Amazon business owner is that Amazon may one day come around and say, hey, you're suspended or we're terminating your account. So I think that's like the biggest risk that I see with it, which is kind of common among all Amazon sellers. Otherwise, as far as risks, if you have a whole bunch of competitors jump into the market, kind of dilute the market even more. But again, our listings have been here for a while. Again, I started years ago. So I think they're pretty grandfathered in. So they should be okay. But as far as other risks, I think that's the major risk is worrying about Amazon shutting you down or competitors, a lot of competitors jumping in.
But as you mentioned, those are risks that are there and present for any business, not just
True.
this business. So you don't really see any significant risks associated with this specific business.
I guess something else that we can mention is if a supplier, so an issue we had with one of the suppliers is one of the products, we were the first ones to market that product. And actually, it was my idea to kind of come up with that product. And it's been one of our best sellers. Now, about maybe 6 months ago, they sent us an email and said, hey, we have to raise the price. So I said, all right. And I found another supplier, got the samples and looked great, even at a lower price than we were originally buying from the first supplier. So that's, again, another risk that is always possible is if your supplier decides to increase the price. But with China, there's so many other suppliers, you could just switch them out for a new one.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think just one thing I want to comment on in terms of opportunities is, just talking about what we've already talked about in the fact that the business has been doubling sales every year. In the last few months, you've managed to raise the percentage that you earn on each sale, and you haven't been utilizing a lot of the Amazon external advertising sources like social media,
Yes. Yeah.
emails, and that stuff. So, I mean, this business just has a very, very strong foundation, and you're currently making, as you said, you're going to hit $1 million last year, or you did hit $1 million in sales last year, which is very significant. This business has much more to grow if you really come in with the time you said, put in the 15, 20 hours that you see necessary to grow the business more and utilizing the opportunities that we've outlined.
Absolutely.
Are you willing to commit to a non-compete?
Absolutely.
And how much support are you willing to offer a buyer during the transition period?
So I think we had agreed on 1 month email and 2 Skype calls. I have it in writing, but it's somewhere around there.
And that'll include walking a new owner through everything that is currently going on, getting in contact with the suppliers, coordinating with the VA, everything?
Absolutely.
The best case scenario is obviously that someone comes along and offers a 100% cash offer of what you're looking for the business. But if that didn't happen, would you be open to a type of deal like an earnout?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Mario, for being here with me today. I have one final question for you, and it's a doozy. But before we get to it, I want to go ahead and run through that quick summary of the business again.
Okay.
The business was built in January of 2009, has a monthly revenue of $80,825, expenses of $68,925 to make for a net profit of $11,900, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are 2 domain names, site content and files, Amazon Seller Central account for the USA, UK, and many other European countries, social media accounts, and product photos. Inventory is not normally included in the list price. Further details can be provided to active depositors. Mario, what is your best 30-second pitch on why someone should purchase this business?
I think I've done enough work or more than enough work to get it to where it is now by doubling the sales that it is. If someone could come in with a little bit more expertise on the social media side, they could definitely take advantage of this business. Honestly, it's been great to me, and I kind of hate letting it go, but I think it's time I move on to law and give this to someone else.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And like you said, you've done a great job. It has a foundation and with plenty of opportunities for someone to come in and grow it even more. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thanks a lot, Jake. Really enjoyed it.
If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. And if you want more information, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. If you're watching this on the listing site and want more information, become a depositor today. When you make the deposit, one of our business advisors will be in contact with you, and you will be given everything you need to review this business. Have a great day.